السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. Today, inshallah, the 8th of January 2025, and it's the 8th of Rajab 1446 Hijri. And we are going to do the 6th, inshallah, of this series of the Tawheed and Iman, series number 6, the episode 6 of this collection. And last time, previous times, we spoke about the different meanings of the main words that constitute the heart of Quran and Sunnah, and that our whole understanding of Tawheed is built around. And we know that there was a lot of chaos and misunderstanding and miscoursing and dislocation of the meaning, the right meaning of these definitions. And that's why, because of many things, because of mixing of the tongues after the futuhat and everything, mixing of the tongues, because of the mixing of the cultures, because of the translation of books, the flood of translation, because of the weakness, mainly the weakness of the Arabic tongue with time, and being Islam being and Arabs being outside of their inhabitant in Jazeera. So all these facts made these definitions change, and we said that these definitions are al-ilah, al-rabb, al-ibadah, al-deen, al-taghut. These are the main definition that were actually changed, and they find this word. You will find these words in almost every ayah. All ayahs has one of these words, either ilah or rabb or deen or ibadah or taghut. They are all over the place in Quran and Sunnah, because especially when we come to the ayahs of Rububiyatillah and Uluhiyatillah, and ayahs that is concerning establishing the facts of Tawheed in Quran. And it is actually presented in the address of that we use in our Islam, Shahada la ilaha illallah. So we talked about al-ilah, we talked about al-rabb, and we talked about the relationship between the two, and we talked about al-ibadah and how the word should convey in our understanding, in our minds when we hear it, and how it conveys now for the general public and for the people who actually didn't study Tawheed in the right way, or didn't understand it in the right way. Some people studied and everything, but studied with some Sufis. So to them, ibadah is praying and fasting and making dhikr and doing 100,000 of these dates, this hearts of dates. This, what is it called? Seed.
Bit.
The date, yeah, the bits of dates. They put. You can find it in some books actually. You're like Sayyidi Fulan. He put 100,000 bits on his right. They come to him in the morning and they find it in his left, because he moves it with every tasbih. I would say when they leave, the shuffle is good. He has a good shuffle. So that's what it is. These things are, the imaginary, or some people, exaggerate to the maximum in order to. But this is ibadah for them, and they and I cannot do that, and it actually creates vanity for these people, and they create despair for the other people, for the public, because how can I do that? That's why they say, oh, this is wali, he's special in his own. So that's this is what we're talking about now. The other definition actually is the one that amalgamates and encompasses all these together, puts it together under one tent, which is a deen, which I can't call religion, because if I say religion, it creates the misunderstanding and misrepresentation right away, because religion in English is the ibadah that is performing the ibadah according to the understanding of the Christians and to the Muslims who actually didn't study Tawheed and like the Sufis and stuff, because there is a big resemblance between Christianity and Sufism actually. Someone wrote a paper, I remember 20 years ago, about the resemblance. And so it's not religion, it's deen. And deen, if we follow our steps before, we look at what deen in the Arabic tongue. Deen is used in the Arabic when the Arabs used to hear deen. According to the context, there are four meanings jump to the brain. According to the context, either sovereignty and authority, qahr, sulta, sulta, qahr, which is submission to the power to submit to, so sulta itself, the authority itself. So they say هذا الرجل قد دان الناس. دان الناس means قاره, means he put his thumb on top of. They are doing what he wants now. That's dana. دان الناس. He's subjected to people to obedience. The other meaning is the subjected people themselves. يقول لك دان الناس فدانوا له. دينتهم فدانوا. دان here, الدين هنا means to submit. Because if someone is applying authority, somebody has to submit, right? So this is deen and this is deen. دانهم فدانوا له. فدانوا. But dana, this is different, the understanding. One is the authority itself and sovereignty, and one is the الإطاعة, obedience itself. العبودية, الخدمة, التسخير. So this is the second understanding. The third one is, which is very important, is the law, the method, the way, the road, the hadi, the guidance, the custom, the habit. All this comes under deen. So these are the things that comes to mind in the context in hadith. كانت قريش ومن دان دينهم. ومن دان دينهم means follow their way. Follow the way they are following. In the phrase in the Arabic literature, they say, the writers, they always say ما زال ديني وليلني أن أفعل كذا، أن أقوم الصباح وأفعل. وهذا ديني وليلني. ديني وليلني means my habit, my custom. This is what I do every day in the morning. I wake up, I make coffee, I go to run, I come back. So you say هذا ديني عمي، هذا ديني وليلني. It doesn't mean that this is your God. No, it has nothing to do with God and but it's just the method, the way, the guide you follow. The law you put for yourself for the morning. So that's another meaning which is very important. The fourth meaning that comes to Arabs with deen is the reward, the accountability, the reward that comes with the accountability, the recompensation, الجزاء، المكافأة، الجزاء أو العقاب، المحاسبة. This is called deen as well. So these four items, you will find that in Quran. But you will find in Quran that all the words, wherever you find deen, it's one of these four. It doesn't come out. Again, why? Why we say that in all the words, ibadah? Because we remind people again that the Quran بِلِسَانٍ عَرَبِيٍّ مُبِينٍ. Because it used the way Arabs understand the words. Period. Not anybody else in the world. It doesn't matter. English call it religion. It doesn't matter. French call it religion. It doesn't matter. Italian said is rigavello. It doesn't matter. What matters is what Arabs comes to their brain, in the back of their brains. What does it bring up in front of them? That's why we said before, understanding the Arabs as was spoken by the Arabs at the time is the only method to understand Quran. And that's why those ulama and fuqaha, of the Arabic language, they tried, they thrived in order to convey to us how the guys like Sibawi al-Kitab or Ibn Jinni al-Khasa'is or Tha'alibi or Ibn Manzur fi Lisan al-Arab, or all these big, huge names we know in Arabic language. This is what they tried to do. They tried to tell us this is how those Arabs before, because they were in intermediate stage, so they still carried, Arabic words are carried. Arabic means was carried to them in full capacity in many places, and they had a very. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun." In the first 3-4 centuries, you will find that the memory of people was 100%, not 100, like million% stronger than the memory of anybody after these centuries. Why? Because in these centuries was still the environment, and the milieu and the way of living and the words and the poetry and everything still alive, but it needs brains to keep it. So their memory was completely photographic. If their memory was like our memory now, everything was lost. I mean, how Quran came to us, it came to us. So, if we go to the Quranic use, we'll find the four meanings are used in there. In terms of the sultan authority, it was used as supremacy and ultimate authority as well. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قل إني أمرت أن أعبد الله مخلصا له الدين قل الله أعبد مخلصا له دين فاعبدوا ما شئتم من دونه. It means that submit to any authority you want other than him. وله ما في السماوات والأرض وله الدين واصبا فغير الله تتقون. أفغير دين الله يبغون. Do you want something other than the authority of Allah and the power, the supremacy of Allah over you? وله أسلم من في السماوات والأرض. All in السماوات والأرض have given up to him. And you want somebody else, something else. فغير دين الله وما أمروا إلا يعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين حنفاء. So in here, deen came with the first and second. The sultan and the submission to this sultan. وقبول الطاعة. So because it's like the back of the coin. If it is the authority, then if we talk about you, it is your submission then. When you look at the when you look at deen as the law or system or guidance, way of life, all what these meanings we said, it came in Quran many times. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, إن الحكم إلا لله أمر ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه ذلك الدين القيم. So a deen is to rule with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إن الحكم إلا لله. أمر, here is judgment and authority and all the laws and the ways Allah gave us is الدين القيم. أمر ألا تعبدوا. Here is actually the meaning of ibadah and deen and al-uluhiyyah. It put all together in this. In al-hukm Allah is uluhiyyah. Because al-hukm is part of uluhiyyat Allah under al-ibadah. And ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه. ألا تطيعوا إلا إياه. Don't obey any other one. ذلك الدين القيم. This is the qayyim deen. This is the qayyim system you should follow in your life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فأقم وجهك للدين حنيفا فطرة الله التي فطر الناس عليها لا تبديل لخلق الله ذلك الدين القيم. This is the fitrah, this is the way you should behave. This is your morning, guidance, like the coffee and the running. This is your system of life. It's your system of life. This is how you do it. This is how you should be accustomed to do. Is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you here. ذلك الدين القيم ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. When we look at this, when we say فطرة الله التي فطر الناس عليها, here فطرة is the way Allah created people to accept and to do normally. That's why when you say I just I begin with my day with making coffee and and go running outside and coming back and get another coffee, and it's a system. You know, it's a system, and this system is proven that it is good for you. Otherwise, you won't follow it every day, and you won't be telling people about it, and you won't be sharing it with your wife or with your friends, you know, and you won't be happy to live in a place where they don't do. You go to India and you start their day with milking a cow. You won't be enjoying that, you know. It's a system, your system of life. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the Muslim فَأَقِمْ وَجْهَكَ لِلدِّينِ حَنِيفًا فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا لَا تَبْدِيلَ لِخَلْقِ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. الزاني والزانية، شوف، الزاني والزانية فاجلدوا كل واحد منهما 100 جلدة ولا تأخذكم بهما رأفة في دين الله. In the system of the Allah, in the law of the Allah. Don't be merciful in the law of Allah. This is the law of Allah to whip them 100 times. Don't have mercy in this. There's no mercy in this. This is not your system. It's not your law. It's the law of Allah. ولا تأخذكم بهما رأفة في دين الله إن كنتم تؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر. If you don't have iman in Allah, that's a different thing. Then you will have rahmah and say, oh, this is haram. Oh, how you look at these barbarians, they whip the people, and so, that's okay. You're kuffar, no problem. I have no problem with you guys, but we don't do that. So هنا دين الله is the system. The guys. Another thing. إن عدة الشهور عند الله 12 شهرا في كتاب الله يوم خلق السماوات والأرض منها 4 حرم ذلك الدين القيم. شوف, Allah made the count of month is deen because it's a system. Our system of counting days, what is it? Month and days. So he made it system. He say ذلك الدين القيم. وكذلك, when it comes to law, to the law, applying the law, كذلك كدنا ليوسف ما كان ليأخذ أخاه في دين الملك. It means هنا not ما كان يأخذ أخاه في صلاة الملك or صوم الملك or praying of the king, you know. It's the system of the king, the system that the king puts together to deal with the thieves. See how clear it is? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَمْ لَهُمْ شُرَكَاءٌ شَرَعُوا لَهُمْ مِنَ الدِّينِ مَا لَمْ يَأْذَنْ بِهِ اللَّهُ. شَرَعُوا لَهُمْ مِنَ الدِّينِ. Make sharia, make laws, make ways, make system that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't make, doesn't say, doesn't do. أَمْ لَهُمْ شُرَكَاءٌ شَرَعُوا لَهُمْ مِنَ الدِّينِ. And here shuraka, who said here shuraka is asnam? Guys, asnam never talk to the kuffar. It is not the asnam, it's the ahbar or ruhban. It's humans. If he means idols, it's only a moron would say idols. Who made shara'u lahum min ad-din in this ayah, because idols never talk to them. So Sayyidina Ibrahim, what happened with the idol? He told them, did you speak to them? So it is humans. He means him shara'u lakum, or those humans amongst you, like in the ayah. اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم أربابا من دون الله. Once they take him Rabb, what does it mean? It means he makes a deen for him, right? He makes a deen for him. So that's why in Surah Al-Kafirun, which actually Mufassirin call it the second surah of Tawheed. Tawheed is 2 surahs. Surah Al-Ikhlas and Surah Al-Kafirun. One is Tawheed al-Rububiyyah and one is Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. One is لا إله قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الأسماء والصفات نفيا وإثباتا. وone is البراءة من الشرك واتباع التوحيد. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا العبادة توحيد العبادة ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا نعبد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد. What does he say at the end? لكم دينكم ولي دين. You have your system, I have my system. You have your laws, I have my laws. You have your guidance, I have my guidance. You have your custom and ways of living and lifestyle, I have my custom and way of living and custom and style. So when we look at this word, then for all this put together, we understand that the word deen actually put everything together. It's the system. It's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we look at the fourth one, like what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in terms of deen, Maliki yawmiddin, yawm al-jaza, the day of rewarding, whether with punishment or rewarding with Jannah or not. You see, so this is the fourth meaning, al-jaza, al-ata. مالك يوم الدين. So it came in Quran in all the meanings of these meanings, the four meanings we talked about. So this is the meaning of the deen, all that we have to understand. Examples of the fourth meaning: إنما توعدون لصادق وإن الدين لواقع. الدين هنا here means the day of judgment. وإن الدين لواقع. الآية in Surah Al-Zariyat, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين الذي يكذب بيوم القيامة الذي يكذب of those who don't believe in the day of judgment. وما أدراك ما يوم الدين ثم ما أدراك ما يوم الدين. See, again, so so if we look at all this, we find that deen puts all this together. Some ayahs come with all these four meanings all together. Some ayahs. Like what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قاتلوا الذين لا يؤمنون بالله ولا باليوم الآخر ولا يحرمون ما حرم الله ورسوله ولا يدينون دين الحق من الذين أوتوا الكتاب حتى يعطوا الجزية عن يد وهم صاغرون. Here deen means قاتلوا all those who don't believe in these four meanings, who don't believe in the sovereignty and the supremacy of Allah, only Allah, and those who doesn't submit to this supremacy, and those who doesn't go under the laws. لا يحرمون ما حرم الله ورسوله. Right? Because here he says لا يؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر. So the supremacy of Allah and you know, being under his control. ولا يدينون ولا يحرمون. They don't go under they don't under the laws and the ways of life that Allah put for us. ولا يدينون دين الحق. دين الحق is all these things together. All. من الذين أوتوا الكتاب حتى يعطوا الجزية عن يد وهم صاغرون. Why did he say من الذين, this is a little fiqh thing, ما الذين يأتوا الكتاب حتى يعطوا الجزية عن يد وهم صاغرون. Why he said الذين أوتوا الكتاب, we are asked to fight all kuffar, right? No, but because here he said حتى يعطوا الجزية, because we can't take jizya from none other than الذين أوتوا الكتاب. So this is مخصوصة for أهل الكتاب. Because if we fight non-أهل الكتاب, there is no يعطوا الجزية عن يد وهم صغيرون. فالدين here is another ayah that puts deen in all this meaning together. وقال فرعون ذروني أقتل موسى وليدعو ربه إني أخاف أن يبدل دينكم أو أن يظهر في الأرض الفساد. هنا يبدل دينكم, here يبدل دينكم, change your deen means to change your life. Everything in your life, the way you pray, the way you fast, the way if you fast, if you used to fast, whatever you do, the way you worship, the way you live, the way you marry, the way you deal with zina, with everything, with your Lord, with your rulers, everything in life, your life, the way of life. إني أخاف أن يبدل دينكم. And this is the meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, that is, actually this deen is acceptable. إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. Here is the deen is everything. You can't say, oh, I'm going to submit to Allah as He is supremacy, but I'm not going to follow His laws. No, Habibi, no. Don't take it. No, it's not going to be taken from you. Because deen is everything. إن الدين عند الله الإسلام ومن يبتغي غير الإسلام دينا means guidance, life, law, submission to the supremacy, believing in the supremacy, believing in the day of judgment, believing in the punishment and reward. فلن يقبل منه وهو في الآخرة من الخاسرين. لن يقبل لن خلاص. Again, هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره الكافرون. ودين الحق, دين الحق here is everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala أرسل الرسول with all these things, not to support one of them or to spread one of them. Another ayah, وقاتلوهم حتى لا تكون فتنة ويكون الدين كله لله. الدين here is everything. الدين كله. كل الدين والدين كله. Both. كل الدين والدين كله. Everything in deen and all the deen is لله. Again, إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون فين؟ في دين الله أفواجا. When this happened, they didn't enter Islam in believing in supremacy but not laws. No, they entered in everything في الفتح, after the Fatih. That's why now we can't say, oh, we are going to believe in only this and this not and this. No, since the day of Fatih, it's done. It's a done deal. ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا. فالدين, see how many ayahs? Many ayahs. So this deen is how, when we take it with all this meaning, the compass, all this meaning put together, and the understanding of this, and we actually teach it to ourselves and our kids, this is how we get Islam back on its feet, and this is how we get Islam back to be a force, a leading force again, or the leading, though as well, force. Because without that, we are going to be always in the tail. Islam is not having good manners. Oh, no. Who said that? Anybody can have good manners. Islam doesn't mean we apply the hadd of zina like in anything, or any doubt, or any suspicion or anything, and say, oh, this is Allah and we have to do it. No, this is not like that. Islam is not being, you're frowning the face of everybody, and Islam is not saying, oh, I have to stand in the middle between the West and the East. because now the West are strong, and I have to give. You have to get like they actually spread it in the minds of people of the young generations and mid age. You have you got to give. You got to give something. You got to give something. You got to give something to get something. You have to know. In Islam, there is not give something to get something. This is in your buying and selling contract, but not in the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not in the systems that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala established. There is no giving away there. There is no giving away at all. Never. Every case has to be weighed according to the Sharia laws, and we see, is it applicable now or not? That's different than to abandon them and say, I'm giving it away to get this. No, this is a different concept. Like if there is a hunger in the country, like there is hunger, like in Gaza or something, and you find a boy who's getting into, or a man getting into a house and get something and walk away. You can't apply Hadd al-Sirq. Why? Because there is a hunger in the country. Because there is a doubt that he is very hungry, and it is a necessity. And necessity is above all the laws. He can't take it, no matter what it belongs to. So this is not, I'm given something. No, it's different concept than saying, okay, I am a country, and I am the ruler of 100 million people country, and I have industry and everything. I'm not going to apply the Hadd al-Sariqa because the West doesn't like really the cruelty of this. So I'm not going to apply this. So they see me as modernized and civilized, so they can give me loans and stuff, and so I give something to get something. Ever, never. This is where we change the deen of Allah, and we actually completely abandon the concept of deen altogether. It is not our deen. It's their deen. I'm not going to die in their deen. This deen. I don't believe in this deen, in their deen, at all. My deen, I know what my deen is. What we talked about. This is the deen we talked about now. What time now? How long?
38 minutes.
Tawheed. So next time, inshallah, we're going to talk about Tawheed. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.